We also have another federal agency here, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, and they also have remarks to provide. And so I introduce to you Nitin Natarajan, who is the Deputy Director. I welcome you to the stage.
The trick is always making up the stairs without falling down. So, mission accomplished. Now, thanks for the kind introduction and the opportunity to be here today at this event. It really, truly is an honor to be here as we look at tackling a lot of the future cybersecurity challenges, looking at the talent here and those online that will be participating in this season's games. And to all those of you who participated in season one, thank you for all that you accomplished. It was really exciting to watch from a distance how it went. And we did have folks in Greece for the games as well. And it's been amazing just to watch the evolution of this as we've continued to see the evolution of cybersecurity challenges facing our nation and our globe. I want to congratulate the season 2 draftees. Really looking forward to seeing what each and every one of you are going to achieve during this second season. It's really exciting to see what the future holds for all the athletes in the games as we look at how we can tackle these issues with the passion, the creativity, and the innovative thinking it's going to take to stay ahead of our adversaries as we tackle these new and emerging challenges. For those of you who are not familiar with CISA, we're relatively new as a federal agency. We were formed in 2018 and really looking at protecting the functions of government and the private sector that are truly vital to the United States, in which their disruption, corruption, or dysfunction to really have a debilitating impact on our nation's services. You know, and CISA really is a great place and in a unique place in the federal government in that our true mission in life truly is to work collaboratively with the private sector, with critical infrastructure owners and operators, with state, local, tribal, territorial partners in a way to tackle these complex challenges. And do so as part of a global cyber ecosystem that really depends on all of us playing our respective roles to tackle these challenges. It really takes a collaborative network of government and industry partners. You know, I know this does not come as a surprise to all of you. The solution to cybersecurity isn't necessarily inside the Beltway, right? The solution to cybersecurity is across the nation and across the globe. And really making sure that we're able to tap into that talent and to tap into the expertise and the teamwork that we need to work with all of you to address these issues. CISA is really glad to be working hand in hand with Cat's Eye, NIST, and our colleagues to really test the best of the best in the U.S. cyber games, to really help build tomorrow's cybersecurity workforce. A workforce that's diverse, a workforce that's forward-leaning, a workforce that is one step ahead of our adversaries in a way that we are going to be able to protect our nation's, or increase our nation's cyber defenses. As all of you know, this is the second year with over 1,200 athletes from 50 states and Washington, D.C. And I'm really excited to, again, see the turnout, see the participation from both the competitors, but also from the coaches and all the time that was spent to train, compete, and to represent the United States in the various scrimmages of the International Cybersecurity Challenge. This year is also going to bring some challenging rounds yet through looking at things like cryptography, forensics, reverse engineering, binary exploitation, networking, web, and reconnaissance as well. So really excited to see where this year's competition goes. We do know while each and every single participant brings their own expertise and experience to the table, there's a few common traits that we see and qualities across the team. First, we know that you're passionate about cybersecurity, always looking at ways to advance your knowledge and to increase your skill sets. Second, you're relentlessly curious, experimenting with emerging technologies to really detect and respond to new threats and vulnerabilities. And third, and arguably most important, you're all leaders and bold thinkers. And really what we need to work together as a team to manage risk and to strengthen resilience through both creativity and imagination. I want to talk briefly about the cyber workforce, and I've heard some prior comments about this as well from our colleagues, and it truly is one of the most critical challenges we are going to be facing in the months and years to come, of how do we strengthen our cybersecurity workforce to ensure that we have a strong and diverse workforce that represents our nation. How do we make sure we're inspiring the next generation of cyber defenders? How do we ensure that we're training the next generation of cybersecurity specialists to come into this field? How do we provide teachers, especially at the elementary level, the professional development and training needed to teach technology in the classroom, so we can get people interested in cybersecurity as a career while they're in K through 12, just like we do for other STEM programs, just like we do for the arts and other programs as well. How do we get that education into the K through 12 pipeline? How do we make sure that secondary and post-secondary education levels have the right programs, the scholarship, the guidance that they need to be successful to train that workforce? I encourage all of you, and I truly believe this, and I say this in almost every opportunity I have to anyone who will let me say it, there is a role in cybersecurity for everyone. Each and every person in this room, each and every person hearing this message, each and every person on the planet has a role to play in cybersecurity, right? In addition to all of you who are highly technical, who are cyber defenders on keyboard, we have an entire ecosystem and structure of people around that to help that mission be successful. In addition, no matter what career field you go into, how do we ensure that you're thinking cybersecurity first? Whether you're going into healthcare, whether you're going into aviation, whether you're going into the energy sector, no matter what you're doing, there is a role in cybersecurity in that organization. Now, whether it's you're just an end user and you're taking the simple steps of like not taping your password to your keyboard and doing things like that, all the way through being on that cutting edge as a threat hunter or as a red teamer, and everything in between. There was a role for every single person in this nation and in this globe when it comes to cybersecurity. And it doesn't just start in the workforce. Again, it starts in your personal lives as well as your professional lives. How do you make those decisions that help better protect your infrastructure? As we bring new technology into our cyber ecosystem, as we increase that threat surface, how do we make sure that we're taking those right steps? I kind of jokingly tell people, we now connect refrigerators to the internet. I don't know what an internet-connected refrigerator does that mine doesn't, but people do, right? And it's great technology to have. I'm not sure yet, but I'm sure it's great. And we want to make sure that we are looking at all of these great technological enhancements that we're seeing, these technological innovations that we're seeing today and we will continue to see, that we're incorporating cybersecurity into that, and that everybody is building cybersecurity into their decision calculus, whether that's as a consumer and an end user or in your professional lives. CISA is really committed to looking at how do we continue to shape these efforts. And whether that's through our partnership with our colleagues at the NSA for the National Centers of Academic Excellence program, where we help community colleges, 2-year and 4-year colleges and universities build robust cybersecurity programs, whether it's the Cyber Corps Scholarship for Service program, which helps provide scholarships for students interested in a career in cybersecurity that want to come into government service. Beyond that, we're really looking at how do we look at professionals in the workforce, how do we provide opportunities for those coming out of high school, those going to college, those not going to college, those that are mid-career or late career that are looking at reskilling and upskilling within their workforce. How do we manage those types of opportunities? So we actually manage a website called the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Careers and Studies, which really serves as that hub for understanding cybersecurity education, careers, and training. We have a program called the Federal Virtual Training Environment for folks who are in government at the federal, state, local, tribal, territorial levels, which provides over 800 hours of training to personnel and also to veterans, so government employees and veterans. That has over 60 courses and 800 hours of training to help get people involved in cybersecurity. We have a Cybersecurity Education Training Assistance Program grant that helps educate K through 12 institutions on understanding cybersecurity and how to help individuals see themselves in cybersecurity. As was mentioned, it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and I will make my shameless plug for this year's theme, which is See Yourself in Cyber. Because again, every single individual has a role to play, and everybody should see themselves in cyber. We're also looking at focusing on underserved communities that remain underrepresented both in government and in industry. We recognize that that there are challenges, and we are dedicated to advancing, welcoming, and celebrating diversity across a broad spectrum, including things like neurodiversity, diversity of gender, identity, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, age, religion, disability, and socioeconomic backgrounds. It really brings in a diversity of thought and a diversity of experience and background to the table. As I look at our team across our organizations, I work with colleagues in the public and the private sector, the teams that are the most successful are the ones that aren't all built alike, that have people with different backgrounds, different experiences, different types of ways of thinking, right? You always hear that engineers are taught of a way to think, right? Lawyers are taught of a particular way to think. Medical conditions are taught a way to think. But bringing all those together makes us more powerful. My background, I spent 13 years as a first responder, as a paramedic and a flight medic. What does that have to do with cybersecurity? Well, I ended up here, right? And I bring a very different way of thinking than a lot of my colleagues. But I think paired up together, it really helps us tackle challenges differently. We have a great partnership with Girls Who Code to look at reducing the gender gap in cybersecurity, so we can really make sure that we are targeting and being aggressive in building a diverse cyber workforce of the future. We work with groups like NPower and Cyber Warriors, where we gave them grants last year to focus on cybersecurity training in rural communities, diverse populations, and our veteran community, to ensure that, again, that we are continuing to offer recruitment opportunities to bring folks into the workplace. I will now make my shameless plug for CISA. We are always looking to build new talent in our organization. As much as we love all of our federal colleagues and our state and local colleagues and our private sector colleagues, you want to work for us. So, and no matter what your background, again, whether you're ethical hackers, malware analysts looking at cybersecurity policy, we have a role in our organization for that. And if you don't want to come to us, because you don't want to be in the only federal government building above a fondue restaurant in Arlington, then I encourage you to get involved in cybersecurity wherever you are in any way that you can, both in the public and the private sector. Our state, local, tribal, territorial partners need help as well, and we want to make sure that anything that you can do, anyone that can help in any part of that chain, it's a great thing for us. At CISA, obviously, folks will work side by side with our partners in law enforcement and the intelligence community, the private sector, and international partners, to really look at how we can help protect the nation's critical infrastructure, help protect the nation's increase the resilience on cybersecurity against nation-state and cyber threats and cyber criminals, and really work with a very robust and diverse team across the nation, across the globe. And really doing so from a government perspective is slightly different from a private sector perspective. Both have different perspectives, and we actually encourage people to do both. I've spent part of my career in state and local government, I've spent it in the federal government, I've spent it in the private sector. And actually being able to go between those and bring those different perspectives to the table really makes your contribution to the collective challenge all that greater. So we definitely encourage folks, and if folks have any questions, feel free to let me know or go up to our website. But we want to help get folks into cybersecurity. And if it's with us, that's great. If it's not with us, that's great too. We just want to continue to promote the need to have a very robust and diverse workforce as we go into tackling these future challenges. At the end of the day, cybersecurity really requires you to navigate through problems on a daily basis. It's something that's going to require you to tackle new and novel, innovative ways of addressing issues. We have an adversary that's extremely dynamic, that is always looking for new ways to attack, always looking for new ways to find our vulnerabilities, always finding new ways to get to us. So we need people who are not looking to do the same thing day in and day out, but truly want to tackle these challenges in new and innovative ways to solve these solutions. Each of you have proven that you're up to the task and that you're innovative problem solvers. And you've not only demonstrated your technical capabilities, but also the softer skills, such as effective communication, creativity, and the ability to work well in teams, something we are in dire need of as we continue to tackle these issues. Again, every single one of you has a role to play when it comes to cybersecurity, both in your personal lives and in your professional lives. And only together can we raise that resilience across the nation and across the globe against these cyber attacks. I'm proud to support this amazing group of creative cyber competitors. Look forward to seeing the amazing skills showcased throughout this year's U.S. Cyber Game competitions. Thank you again for inviting me to participate in this year's draft. I wish the best of luck to all of you. And on behalf of CISA, every single one of us will be cheering you on. Thank you.